We left Shay and Kevin's house there in Cypress, Texas, a suburb of Houston, and headed west and went to San Antonio, where we stayed at Tejas Valley RV Park right outside of Houston. Very nice park. Sunday afternoon, we went into San Antonio, and walking down the street, we walked by this beautiful scene, which is the River Walk. We did not get a chance to walk this walk, but we'd like to do that sometime in the future. While we were in San Antonio, we were carrying Sophie in a backpack carrier that we have for her. And when we got to the Alamo, we were greatly disappointed because we were not allowed inside the Alamo with any animal of any kind. Because we weren't allowed in there with Sophie, we took turns cat sitting outside the fort of the Alamo while the other one went in and looked around. And here's just a few pictures of what it's like inside the fort, but not inside the church itself. In front of the Alamo is this monument called the Spirit of Sacrifice Centopath, and it honors different people who fell and died at the Alamo. Pictured here is Jim Bowie and Jim Travis. And on this side of the monument, the main figures are Davy Crockett and a man named William B. Travis. The next morning we got up and we left San Antonio and headed west out across Texas. And towards the evening we stopped at a place called Saddleback RV Park in Balmora, Texas. A beautiful little campground, $20 a night, full hookup. Really enjoyed the scenery. The next morning we got up and continued our westward journey. And it's mile after mile of basically nothing there in West Texas. And somewhere along the line, we passed a sign that said last fuel for 80 miles. I immediately checked the fuel gauge and had about a half tank left, so I thought, well, we're good. And mile after mile went by, and sometime later, the fuel light came on, and I thought, low fuel light came on, and I thought, uh-oh, now we're in trouble. Well, we made it to a little fuel stop way out in the middle of nowhere there in West Texas. And when we got home, I was looking at a YouTube video from Long Long Honeymoon is the name of the channel. Well, Sean of Long Long Honeymoon stretched it further than what we did. And about a quarter mile before he got to the service station, he ran out of fuel, but was able to drift it down into the parking lot and was able to get his truck fueled up. But I thought that was a unique little perspective on travel in West Texas. After the fuel stop there in West Texas, we continued west. We went past El Paso, and this sign we saw at a rest stop there somewhere in New Mexico. Look out for the rattlesnakes. Well, we continued our drive west and entered Arizona. And towards that evening, we stopped at a place called Alaskan RV Park. Now, I don't know why it's called Alaskan RV Park there in Bowie, Arizona, but that's what it's called. With a nice, pleasant little park, $20 a night, full hookup. Well, we enjoyed our stay there in Arizona and got up the next morning and headed north and stopped at Prescott National Forest. It's located between just south of Sedona and northeast of Prescott, Arizona, and about a 2-hour drive from the Grand Canyon. We stayed there in Prescott National Forest a total of 4 nights and took day trips to the Grand Canyon, to Sedona, Arizona, and to Prescott, Arizona, and we'll be showing you some of that on the next video. On our first full day there in Prescott National Forest, we headed west on West Cherry Creek Road. It's a 12.4 mile drive, and it'll take you about 40 minutes to do that 12.4 miles. This mountain road twists and turns and goes by little villages. We found it very scenic. Come along with us as we drive some of Cherry Creek Road. In the mornings, I would get up, get dressed, and take a hike in the hills that were behind our campsite and found this unique foundation for a building or a cabin that stood there at one point in time. Also, other campsites in the area. And there was evidence of forest fires, as you can look at the base of this ponderosa pine and see that the fire had burned up the center of the trunk, but the tree survived. And we really enjoyed our time there in Prescott National Forest. Please join us on our next video as we explore the Grand Canyon, Sedona, Arizona, and Prescott, Arizona.